Alright, so for this video, the goal is for you to know how to copy an angle. There's one vocabulary word that we should already know, and that vocabulary word is angle. So what is the definition of an angle?
Two rays joined at a common initial point.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, so two rays join at a common initial point. And sometimes some people might call that common initial point the endpoint. Alright? So for this one, we have 4 steps, okay? There are 4 steps that we need to know how to do in order to copy an angle. Now, the first step is very similar to the one when we're copying a line segment, and that is to draw a reference line longer than ray BC. Okay? So we need to draw a reference line that is longer than ray BC. Okay? And that's the bottom ray right here. So let's go ahead. Let's take our straight edge part of the compass and try to make it towards the bottom of your the box I've given you, the area I've given you, and it needs to be longer than BC. Okay? So there we go. I've drawn a reference line longer than BC. Now, since the definition of an angle is 2 rays joined at a common endpoint, I'm going to go ahead and draw an arrow right here to show that this is a ray, and I'm going to put the endpoint right here. Now, the vertex of this ray, or the vertex of this angle is B, so this is going to be B prime. Okay? That's going to be the copy of B. Alright, so that is step 1. Draw a reference line longer than the base ray. Alright, step 2. Step 2 is to take your compass, and with the vertex inside the bullseye, I'm going to move it so that B is in the bullseye, right there. Okay? And what I want to do is I want to draw an arc. Okay? And this arc needs to intersect both ray BC and BA. Okay? Now, when you're deciding how large you want to make your arc, the good rule of thumb is to bring this part of the protractor out about halfway. At least, well, now we won't say halfway. We'll go a little bit past the halfway point. So bring it out a little bit past the halfway point. In this case, we want to bring it out a little bit past the point C. Okay? So once we bring it out a little bit past the halfway point, we're going to draw an arc. And that arc needs to intersect both the bottom ray and the top ray of this angle. Okay? So, step 2 was to draw an arc that intersects both rays. Draw an arc that intersects both rays. Alright, using the same compass setting as the arc that you drew right here, we are going to bring our compass down, and we're going to place B prime inside of the bullseye right there. And we're going to draw the same arc. Okay? So for this one, you might want to draw it a little larger than the original arc. Okay? But we use the same compass setting that we used to draw this arc right here. So again, I didn't change it from here. I left it at the exact same point. I just brought it down to here, and I drew it again. Okay? So step 3 was to use the same compass setting to draw an arc that intersects your reference line. Okay, so use the same compass setting to draw an arc that intersects your reference line. Alright, last step. For the last step, what you're going to do is, with your original angle, we're going to measure the distance between this point of intersection and this point of intersection. And the way we're going to measure it is we're going to use our compass. Okay? So I want you to take your compass, and with this point of intersection inside the bullseye, okay, I want you to measure the distance between that point of intersection and the other point of intersection, which is right there. Okay? So I have a point of intersection here, and I have a point of intersection in this other bullseye. Okay? So I'm going to, leaving my compass at that setting, I'm going to drag it down to this point of intersection right here. Okay? And I'm going to place that point of intersection in the bullseye. Alright? So kind of recap what I did. I measured the distance between these two rays. I placed this point of intersection inside here, and that point of intersection inside here. Once I found the length between those 2 points of intersection, I dragged it down over here. And leaving the compass setting exactly where it's at, I'm going to draw my second arc. And the second arc is going to intersect the first arc I drew. And it's going to go like that. Okay? Now, where those two arcs intersect, I'm going to draw a point of intersection. Okay? And we can go ahead and we can label that point of intersection A prime, and this point of intersection down here C prime. Okay? Now we're going to take our straight edge and we're going to connect B prime to A prime. Okay, we're going to line them up. And then we're going to draw a ray that's going through A prime. And there you go. So let's go ahead and write that last step down. Okay, for the last step, what we did was we need to measure the distance between A and C. Okay? Once we measured the distance between A and C using our compass, we use the same compass setting to draw an arc that intersects our first arc. Okay, once we do that second arc, we went ahead and we connected B through A prime. We drew our ray, and just like that, this angle is congruent to the original angle.